สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you a dish that I used to love as a kid and I still love it today, but I have perfected it over the years, so it's much better now than it was when I was a kid. I'm making what's called kai tun. Kai means eggs and tun is, I guess, a word you can use for steaming. So it's steamed egg custard and it comes in individual little cups. It's going to be great. I love having it for breakfast and it's super easy. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to make is an herb paste. It's going to be the main flavor of the custard. And it's a classic combination of white peppercorns, garlic, and cilantro roots. I need this paste to be very, very fine. Otherwise, it's, the custard's not going to be super smooth. So I will grind the white peppercorns first to make sure it's really, really powderized. Now that it is completely fine, I'm going to add my garlic and also cilantro roots. Now, if you don't have cilantro roots, cilantro stems would be okay. And if you want, you can just use a coffee grinder for this, without the coffee. Clean it out, obviously. So once I get it to sort of what I think is as fine as I can, I'm going to add some salt and sugar, which is going to help sort of add friction and help it grind a little bit better. Sugar to cut the salt. You're not going to taste sweetness in this, but it will balance it out. Now it's really, really fine. I'm going to add some of my stock. So I've got some pork stock, but you can use chicken stock or any homemade stock is better. That's unsalted is the important part. And I'm just going to rinse the mortar with some of the stock so I don't have to scrape all this stuff off. Okay, so I've got 3 eggs. And what I'm doing is I'm beating the eggs without creating air bubbles. So I'm kind of stirring more than beating. If I have a lot of bubbles, then my custard won't be smooth. Some soy sauce to flavor that. So most of it is gone. I still have a bit of a gloopiness, but that's okay. I'm going to add the rest of my stock. And adding this stock is going to make the custard really soft and silky. So now that it's mostly mixed, I'm going to add my herb paste. I'm going to strain this. And I just noticed that I should have strained it before I added all my herb paste, because now I'm going to strain out some of the herb paste, but that's okay. It was very, very fine. So normally what you would do is strain it and then add the herb paste, but this is okay. What I was really trying to get out is all these egg white bits that's going to interfere with the smoothness of the custard. All right, so let's talk filling and containers. So first of all, containers. I'm using these little ramekins. So cute. And I think it's a great individual size cup. So this would be great for one person to have with rice. But if you want the whole thing to be like a meal in and of itself, maybe something a little bigger would work. But whatever you want, okay? Now, filling. Normally for sort of everyday cooking, I like to use ground pork, because ground pork and egg is such a classic combination in Thai cuisine. But for something a little special, I like to use crab meat. So I'm using crab meat and mushrooms today. Not just any mushrooms, black fungus. Black fungus looks like this. Has an interesting smell, but really not a whole lot of flavor in there. What I'm using this for is texture. It's super crunchy. So this is the dried form. It's widely available in Asian grocery stores. And you just soak it in some water. It doesn't take long, 10-15 minutes, and it'll bloom into this sort of flower-like thing. What I did is I just cut it into little strips. Okay, like that. And it'll add little crunchy treasures underneath all the custard. So I want to put that in first. The most important thing about this is that the water needs to be on low heat, as low as you can, maintaining a gentle simmer If the water is boiling vigorously, the heat is too high and your eggs are going to have lots of bubbles in it and it's not going to have a nice smooth texture. And if you don't have a massive steamer like I do, you can also use a big stock pot and then get one of those steamer racks that fit inside a pot and then, you know, put a lid on it and then you have yourself a steamer. Lid. There you go. So in order to prevent the heat from getting too high, I'm going to keep the lid ajar by sticking something. Chopsticks work, or anything that will sort of keep the lid somewhat open like this. So that way any excess heat can also escape and you won't overcook the eggs. The timing for this is a bit tricky. It depends on a lot of factors. The size of your cups is one. The heat of the steam is another one. And also the temperature of the custard going in. If your eggs are cold, the stock is cold, it's going to take a bit longer. If everything's at room temp, it's not going to take as long. So in my experience, that size takes anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes. Okay, so check often and early. So we'll be right back. These took a bit longer. The important thing is the testing of doneness. There's a couple ways of doing it. First of all, when you open it, the egg should be puffed up just slightly. And then I like to do the jiggle test first. And that is when you jiggle it a bit, it should jiggle like Jell-O, but it shouldn't sort of do this wavy thing. It'll be obviously liquid if it's not done. Another sure way to do it is to take a knife and just stick it right in the center. And if you push it apart a little bit, there should be nothing but clear broth that's in that crack. If it's not done, you see the cloudy custard, the liquid egg custard that'll come rushing through that crack that you just made. So if you stick it in and it's fine, it's good to go. So I've let these cool down a little bit so it's easier to handle. And to garnish, I just like to put a little extra crab meat on top, just to be a visual representation of what's inside. And especially when it's something expensive like crab, you want to show that off. If you've got some fried garlic, like the one I showed in my garlic pepper chicken episode, that is good stuff to drizzle on it. The fried garlic with the garlic oil. I don't know why I didn't do that for this video. I just forgot. Greenery with some extra green onions. Oh, so cute. And there you go. What a great little appetizer. I mean, it's light, so it works really well as an appetizer or breakfast. If you want to do this for breakfast, just reheat it gently on, like I do, 40% microwave, because you don't want to overcook this. Ah, hot. So, put it on a plate. Look how soft and jiggly this is. I love it. I love this for breakfast, but I also love just pouring this over rice. If you're familiar with Japanese food, this is very similar to what they call chawanmushi. Kids are gonna love it because it's not spicy. I can go on and on about how wonderful this is, and I can stand here and keep eating because it's so yummy. It's perfect comfort food. And serve it with a cute little spoon. Perfect. If you want to make this, the recipe is on hotthaikitchen.com. When you do make it, send me a photo, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I love seeing your photos, so keep them coming. And I guess I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.